What if I told you that there's a real case of time traveling with evidence that actually backs it up? So in 2006, police noticed a man wandering the city, and he seemed genuinely confused. This was in Ukraine. So basically, when the police questioned him, he insisted that he was taking photos in 1958 when a bright flash of light completely engulfed him. The next thing that he knew, he was in modern day Ukraine. He just kept asking the same question over and over again. What year is it? Now here's where it gets really weird, because his clothes were like authentic 1950s style clothes, and his ID was a legit Soviet era identification card with the name Sergei Ponomarenko. This ID even listed that his birth year was 1932, and when authorities tried to trace him, they found nothing. No record of Sergei in the database, no family, no address, no documents beyond the ID that he carried. It was like he had never even existed. What was even stranger was his camera. This specific camera that he had was actually a model that stopped being produced in the 1970s. Yeah, the 1970s. The film had also been discontinued to be produced. But the thing is, when they finally opened the camera and they found the roll of film, it was still intact and it looked new. They had to find an expert to get it developed, which Sergei insisted because he said that on that camera was proof that he just was not from the modern time. So when they finally got somebody to develop the film, the photos really looked like that city in Ukraine in the 1950s, down to the smallest detail. The camera also included a photo of the UFO bright light thing that Sergei said that he saw before he was suddenly transported over 45 years in the future. In one of the photos, it showed Sergei with a woman that he claimed to be his fiance. What did the police do? They basically took him into custody, but since there was nothing that they could really do because he doesn't exist, right? They decided that they would call a psychiatrist. So it was on April 23rd, 2006 that Dr. Pablo first examined Sergei. Basically, after he was interviewed and sent to his room, Sergei ended up just disappearing into thin air. They eventually tracked down that lady was that was in the photo, his Sergei's so-called fiance, and she was much older than she was in the photo, okay? And she even admitted that back in 1958, she had a fiance named Sergei who disappeared for 2 years. And then all of a sudden he popped back in only to leave once again. And the last message that his fiance had of Sergei was of a photo that claimed that Sergei was in 2015 and that he would be back for her. But he never ended up holding up on that promise. So what do you think? Would you believe him if you met him on the street? What about with all this proof of the cameras and all this stuff? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you like stuff like this, make sure to give me a follow. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.